Hey guys, I'm Mark from Spot and welcome to week 30 of the Premier League review. If you want to know the series, what we do is we take a look at the past set of Premier League results, we then take a look at the Premier League table, and we finish off by looking at the Premier League top goal scorers. So here is a list of the past set of Premier League results. These games were played on Saturday the 1st and Sunday the 2nd of April 2017. Next to the games are the times in this video, so if you want to hear about a specific game, just go at the time next to the match and you'll skip out all the other crap. But without further ado, let's get into our first match. And we start with the Merseyside derby. It was Liverpool versus Everton. Liverpool took the lead in this derby 7 minutes into the match through Sadio Mane. It came when Mane picked up the ball near the centre circle and he just runs past incoming challengers from Everton defenders. He goes past one, then another, then another, then another, and is on the edge of the box and places the ball into the bottom corner as he put the cop ahead. But Everton would equalise 20 minutes later when the man making his first Everton start this season, Matthew Pennington, put them level. It came completely against the run of play when Everton had a corner. Liverpool completely failed to deal with it and the ball stops on the edge of the 6-yard box and in ran Pennington to smash the ball home. But they wouldn't be level for long as only 2 minutes later Liverpool would retake the lead through Felipe Coutinho. It came when Coutinho had the ball outside the Everton box and he manages to work his way into the box, cut inside onto his right foot and he curled the ball around Joe Robles into the top corner and Liverpool re-established their lead. And Liverpool would wrap the game up in the 60th minute when they extended their lead to 2 through substitute Divock Origi. Philippe Coutinho again plays a part in the goal as he does well to take 2 Everton defenders out of the game, and he played in Divock Origi, and after being on the pitch for only 2 minutes, Origi took a touch and put the ball past Robles from the edge of the box. And that's how the game would end, and I hate to say it, but Everton would pretty mediocre this match. We all know about Liverpool's horrible defending, but they look like Arsenal in the Invincible season. They were on point. Romelu Lukaku was terrible. He didn't have a single shot in the entire match, and somebody needs to pick him out of Dejan Lovren's back pocket, as Lovren had a great game in keeping him quiet. But with this result, I do believe this is Everton's first loss of 2017, and they stayed in 7th, and Liverpool took a big 3 points in their quest for top 4, as this win took them up to 3rd, with Manchester City still to play on Sunday. And we move on to Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. This game didn't take long to get going, as only 5 minutes into the match, the league leaders took the lead through Cesc Fabregas. It came when Eden Hazard had the ball on the left, and he manages to get round his man and make some space for himself to cross the ball in low, and the ball was turned home from Fabregas. But Crystal Palace would level the scoring only 2 minutes later when Wilfried Zaha had the ball on the edge of the box, and he also had his back towards goal and was surrounded by Chelsea shirts, but he somehow manages to make some room for himself and place the ball into the bottom corner. And less than a minute later, Crystal Palace would hit Chelsea with a dirty double as they surprisingly took the lead. It came when Wilfried Zaha went from goal scorer to goal creator when the ball deflected off of a Chelsea defender, and Zaha picked up the loose ball before finding Christian Benteke, who was completely unmarked in the Chelsea box, and he dinked the ball into the back of the net and put Palace ahead. And believe it or not, that is how the game would end. This is the first time that Chelsea have lost at home since September. But let's be honest, they should have won, but Crystal Palace did well to hold on and take all 3 points away from Stamford Bridge. And with this result, Chelsea stayed first, but they opened the door for Tottenham to possibly close the gap on them, and Crystal Palace are down in 16th, but they are on a bit of a roll, with this being their 4th Premier League win in a row. And we move on to Arsenal versus Manchester City. Manchester City were all over Arsenal in the opener of this match, and it wouldn't take long for them to take the lead, as only 5 minutes in, Leroy Sané put them ahead. It came when Kevin De Bruyne plays a pass that completely splits the Arsenal defence, and Leroy Sané outmuscles and outpaces Hector Bellerin. He then manages to take the ball around David Ospina and puts the ball into the empty net. But Arsenal would equalise in the 40th minute when Theo Walcott put them level. It came when Arsenal had a corner, but it is cleared, but when the ball is headed back towards Manchester City's goal, it looks like 3 Arsenal players are offside, until you see Gael Clichy, who was playing them all onside. For some reason, he didn't move out with the rest of the Manchester City defenders, and he was just there, just chilling and playing everybody on. And one of those 3 was Theo Walcott, who was able to get the ball and poke it past Willy Caballero into the back of the net. But it wouldn't take long for Manchester City to go ahead once again, as only 2 minutes later they retook the lead through Sergio Aguero. It came when the ball is picking around the Arsenal box and no Arsenal players can get rid of it, and it falls to Aguero. With no one around him, he's able to take time to steady himself and put the shot back across goal in at the far post. But Arsenal would equalise yet again in the 53rd minute when Mesut Ozil put a corner into the box, and on the end of it was centre-back Shkodran Mustafi, who headed into the corner of the net. And that's how the game would end, an even game. I think both teams would take a draw, but I know a team that would definitely take this draw: Liverpool. If City won, they retook 3rd from Liverpool, but they were unable to, and they dropped to 4th. And Arsenal, if they won, they could have knocked Manchester United back down to 6th, but they took the point and they were the ones who ended the weekend in 6th. And we move on to Hull versus West Ham. West Ham took the lead in the 18th minute when Aaron Cresswell crossed the ball into the box, and it looked like Hull centre-back Curtis Davies is really going to get the ball clear, but the ball evades him, and it was easy pickings for West Ham captain for the day, Andy Carroll, who was able to take the ball down on his chest and finish past the keeper for his 50th Premier League goal. But Hull would equalise in the 53rd minute when Andrew Robertson got his first Premier League goal. It came when Lazar Markovic played a 1-2 with Alfred Ndai, and Markovic then played the ball to Kamil Grosicki, who then played a lovely pass to Robertson, who was then able to carry on his run and hit the ball low past Darren Randolph. And Hull would complete the comeback as in the 85th minute they took the lead through their centre-back Andrea Ranocchia, probably butchered that name. It came when Hull had a corner and Kamil Grosicki puts the ball into the box, and on the end of it at the near post was Ranocchia to guide his header into the far corner. And as the game would end, West Ham are in a bit of a bad situation at the moment, as this is their 4th Premier League loss in a row. And for Hull, this could be a vital win in their hopes for survival. With this result, Hull are just inside the relegation zone in 18th, but they are now level on points with 17th place Swansea, and West Ham have dropped down to 14th. And we move on to Burnley versus Tottenham. Nothing really happened in the first half, neither teams were able to break the deadlock, but in fairness, Tottenham should have been ahead, and they would do exactly that in the 66th minute when they finally took the lead through Eric Dyer. It came when a corner is put into the box at the far post, and Burnley player Jeff Hendricks really should do better, but his clearance goes straight to Eric Dyer, who smashes it high into the back of the net. And Tottenham would have the game won in the 78th minute when they doubled their lead when Dele Alli had the ball in the box and he put the ball low across the face of goal, and on the end of it was Son Heung-min, and the South Korean simply tapped home. And that's how the game would end, a comfortable win in the end for Tottenham, who really should have scored some goals in the first half, but Burnley did defend well and made it difficult, but as soon as Tottenham got going, then Burnley, they had no chance. With this result, Burnley dropped down to 15th and Tottenham remained in 2nd, and as Chelsea lost, they reduced the gap on them to 7. And we move on to Leicester versus Stoke. Leicester took the lead in this one in the 25th minute when Wilfred Ndidi scored a belter. It came when Ndidi had the ball about 25 yards out with no real pressure from the Stoke defenders. He took a touch to set himself before unleashing the shot that left Stoke keeper Lee Grant with no chance. And Leicester would double their lead in the 47th minute when Danny Simpson floated a ball into the box, and on the end of it was Jamie Vardy, who had a ton of space to take a touch and put the ball in the back of the net. And that's how the game would end, and Leicester continue their great run since firing Ranieri. And how about this for a stat? Leicester's new boss, Craig Shakespeare, is now the first British manager to win his first 4 Premier League games. Leicester were comfortable winners in the end, and they deservedly took all 3 points, and with this result, Leicester jumped up to 13th and Stoke remained in 9th. And we move on to Watford versus Sunderland. Jesus, what a boring game. I'll just get straight into Watford. They took the lead in the 61st minute when a corner is whipped in from the right-hand side, and on the end of it was Stefano Okaka, who was completely unmarked, but his header comes off of Fabio Barini and onto the crossbar, but the ball is headed back across goal to the far post, and on the end of it was Miguel Bretos, who leaped higher than his man and headed the ball into the back of the net for his first goal for Watford. And that's how the game would end. Like I said, pretty boring game, and yeah, nothing that I can really add. With this result, Watford moved up to 12th, and Sunderland, they remain at the bottom of the table and are looking favourites to be going down this season. It's about time, really. They've avoided it somehow for the past 8 years. Right, so there were 3 0-0 draws for the first time this season that I can remember, and there's really nothing that I can add to any of these games, so I'll just rattle through them, yeah? Nice. The first one was Manchester United versus West Brom. Yeah, United should have won, but they didn't because they can't score. They've now drawn 11 games this season, and what you need to put into perspective is that if they had won 4 of those games, they'd be second. Those draws are going to cost them come the final table, there's no doubt about it. But with this result, both teams stayed where they started the day, with United in 5th, West Brom in 8th. The next one was Southampton versus Bournemouth. The only thing that happened was when Bournemouth had a penalty late on in the game, Harry Hart stepped up to take it, but he blazed his penalty way over the bar, and the game ended 0-0. Looking at the stats, I'd probably say that Southampton deserved to win, but both team strikers were extremely poor. Just like the last game, both teams finished the day where they started, Southampton in 10th and Bournemouth in 11th. Finally, we've got Swansea versus Middlesbrough. Oh my god, this one was the worst of the bunch. Nothing I can add. You're lucky I'm even talking about it. I wouldn't even call it a game. Middlesbrough are in 19th and Swansea are in 17th. That's all I can add. Moving swiftly on. Right, so that's all the games I've got for you this week. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Start with the top 5, and as you can see, Chelsea are at the top, and after losing this week to Crystal Palace, it allowed 2nd place Tottenham to close the gap to 7 points after they beat Burnley. Liverpool moved up to 3rd following their win in the Merseyside derby. Manchester City are 4th after being held by Arsenal, and Manchester United make up the top 5 following their 0-0 with West Brom. Moving on to the bottom 5, and Sunderland are still at the bottom of the table following their loss to Watford. Middlesbrough are in 19th after their ball draw with Swansea. Hull at 18th, picking up a big 3 points this week against West Ham. Swansea are 17th after drawing with Borough, and Crystal Palace make up the bottom 5 following their huge win at Chelsea. Moving on to the Premier League top goal scorers, and as you can see, Romelu Lukaku is still on top despite having the worst performance of his life this week against Liverpool. He's still on 21 goals and 6 assists. Harry Kane is second on 19 goals and 4 assists. Alexis Sanchez is third on 18 goals and 9 assists. Diego Costa is fourth on 17 goals and 5 assists. Zlatan Ibrahimovic makes up the top 5 on 15 goals and 4 assists. I think this is the first week that this has happened, but none of the top 5 actually scored this week, and I'm actually not sure if any of them got an assist. So it was a pretty poor week for everyone, really. Right, so that's all I've got for you this time. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll be back Thursday. Yes, Thursday. As in Thursday. That is 2 days away. That Thursday. Yes, that Thursday. For the next episode of the Premier League review. The round of games tonight and tomorrow. So that's why the next one will be out on Thursday. And I'm sorry if this one's a bit rushed. I've got no time. This is the only time that I've got to record it. And it needs to be uploaded in an hour and a half. Yes, it's 2:30. I'm in a rush. Leave me alone. But anyway, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can. The link is in the description, or it's at @poshspot_. If you want to follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, you can. Links to both of those are in the description as well. Or my channel should be popping on your screen around about now. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I've been Mark from Posh Sport, and I'll see you soon.